To the roller blind category. So one of the first things I wanted to launch to you guys this year was an increased headbox capacity. So as you know, right now on some of the thickest fabrics on a 50mm tube motorised, we can only do to about 1.9 metres because the new fabrics we're bringing in are really, really thick. With the textures on them, they're as thick as 0.85mm and it reduces the capacity. So with the new 100mm headbox, we're able to take that out to the bottom of the grid on those thickest of fabrics, so 3.3 metre drops. And for the first time ever, we're actually offering a headbox now for the 65mm heavy duty system. Now, because that tube is larger, the drops are not as good, we can do 2.7 metres on the thickest of fabrics, but we can do drops as big as 5.5 on a fabric like Waratah. So we basically follow the grid down, all right? It comes as a headbox and as a fascia, exactly like we do today with the existing one, although we have made some changes to it. That's actually the headbox there, so if you're looking at that one, that's with side channels. It's compatible with the current side channel system, and that's the fascia version of it over there as well. So 100mm by 100mm. We are keeping the smaller one. We're keeping the smaller one in there, but because we believe we should be selling more headbox and fascia, because that really looks neat. Like if you have a look at the finish of that there, it just finishes off the window, gives us complete blockout. What I did is I'm introducing the new headbox at the same price that the smaller one was, and we're reducing the price of the existing one by about 10 to 15%. Okay, so we want to get more volume of fascia and headbox. It's available in the same 4 colours, so black, white, silver and magnolia. And we've made a few changes to the way that the headbox or fascia clamps together with the end caps. Underneath here is a self-tapping screw, so once you've installed the front cover, you can go in there with a self-tapper and it just ties it all together and locks it in a position. The next one was also feedback from the Advisory Council, and this is just phone calls that I had from dealers saying, thank you for LightRise, we're selling it, but we keep getting asked for a handle option. Now, have you guys done Kevin and Yelena's presentation? So you saw the LightRise aluminium Venetian? No. You didn't? Whoops. Did I wasn't meant to tell you that. No, it's the same handle that's used on that product. Yeah, I've got. Can you erase that, Barry, so they don't know what I just said? So this is a little handle that will go on the ellipse bottom rail. It only comes in black, white and silver, so you need to consider the colour that you want to use if you're going to select a gunmetal bottom rail. But there's no additional charge. So as long as you put the LightRise surcharge on the order form, you select the colour you want for the bottom rail, for the handle, sorry. But you need to remember that once the handle's on, it's not removable. Well, it's not practically removable because if you slide it off, underneath it is a little base that has 3 holes screwed into the bottom rail. So if Mrs. Jones doesn't like it, we really need to replace the bottom rail. So have them consider that, and there is a picture of it in the price book so you can see what it looks like. I think probably well, there's 2 real benefits to it. It's if you've got a reveal situation and the bottom rail's on the sill, it's hard to get your hand underneath it. It gives you a place to actually grab and pull up. And the other thing is it reduces tracking issues. If someone's grabbing the blind from the side here and just flicking it up, it's obviously going to track. It gives them a centre point to control the blind and move it. It's the most exciting ever. Grey plastic chain. I almost considered not even talking about this. I said to Di, it's plastic chain, I don't care. No, you do care. Look, when I took the category over, and I'd known that we've never offered this, it's always defaulted to metal. And I looked and I went, let's just bring it in. And look, you guys have been telling us that as well, and the Advisory Council have been saying we need grey plastic chain, so it's here, 4th of September, it'll be launched. The funny thing is, this is the smallest change we've made, and it's got the loudest applause as well. It's really interesting. There's not much else I can talk about it, because it's just chain, but it'll be available. Same loops as the current lengths and drops of the other. The last slide I've got here is a little bit of a quality update. So you probably remember in May last year we launched the Evo external solar motor and we sold bucket loads, but we had a return rate of about 7% of failures because of water egress getting inside the receiver housing. Now when we first launched this, it was designed to be mounted to the front of the Evo headbox in the same format that it's sitting there right now. But what we found is that a lot of installers were finding quite creative ways to install it. Some of them were pointing up at the sky. We had them natively or naturally you want to put it on top of the headbox as well, which is not really a problem, but the water was pooling around it and then it was going and capillary action was drawing it into the box itself. So we went back to our manufacturer and we've asked them to make many changes. Now this is the current stock that is in our facility now, and it has been for the last probably 6 months. So anyone that's bought one in the last 6 months, you're getting this model anyway. But I wanted to show you the improvements we've made. All of the button holes are covered over now. So the infrared eye hole before was open, so water could get in there. It wasn't an issue if it was mounted front ways, but if it's mounted like that or it's sitting down, it could pull in. So they're all covered with clear, it's like a clear button over the top of everything in there now. We've also put the stand-up, see the little stand-up feet here? They're included in the kit. So we recommend if you're mounting it flat, that you put those underneath it because it allows the water to pool under there. If it pools, it's not going to draw into the box itself. But to stop that even further, we've completely sealed the ends here. These were removable end caps from the extrusion. They're now sealed closed. We also added the little caps to the front of the solar panel because you guys gave us feedback that you didn't like the look of the silver screws at the front. It looked neat, but then you've got these silver screws there, so the caps cover that up. When we launched it, and I've got about half a dozen of these at my house in complete weather, and I put them in 3 years ago this October on a timer. They go up and down 4 times a day, and they have been for the last 3 years, and I've never had an issue with them, and they're in direct weather, but I mounted every one of them on the front of the Headbox. Okay, so this issue is generally around if it was sitting down flat or pointing in a different direction. The improvements we've made now, we believe, will resolve that. And what we've been doing to test it is in our product department upstairs in Rydalmere, it rains every day for 2 hours now, every single day. I'll show you why. So we've got a rain system, the little timer kicks in, and one of Jess's jobs is at 1 o'clock when it finishes raining, she gets up, grabs the remote control and operates the blind up and down. And we've been doing that for about 2 months now. And I can tell you, when we put the first one, the original Mark 1 in that box and we put it on, it lasted 4 hours and it died because the water is shooting in through every possible way. We weren't inventing a waterproof device, we were inventing something that was water resistant, and if installed the way it should have been, it would have been okay, but practically that's not going to work. So this is going to make it better. The range is better as well. So we had 10 metres line of sight originally. That little red circle is Ramses there with a big smile on his face, 35 metres away from the awning, through the partitions, into the fish tank, and it's still operating at that distance. So we're getting a lot better distance now as well. Now I did preview the PowerView version for you last year, and it is coming. It hasn't. We've done everything. It works off the remote control. It's ready to go, except for the hub part. It's not configured for the hub, and I need the guys at Broomfield in the US to do that last configuration for me. And unfortunately, I'm in the queue. And I'm waiting for them to dedicate the time for me to do that because they have their priorities. You saw Solera down there with, these are the projects that you guys are working on. I'm like, hey, but little Australia over here, we just want to do this. And they're like, yeah, sure, we'll get to you really soon. So we're waiting for that. I'm expecting that PowerView version will be ready next year. Everything you've seen for the roller blind extensions will be available from the 4th of September. The control form mode is available now. You can go back to the office and order that tomorrow. Everything's on the portal.